Today for math, we're going to learn how to divide a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number with a remainder. Let's remember our 4 letters that we use: D, M, S, B. Now, that stands for divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Okay, and I like to come up with diamonds might shine brightly. And if you can remember that, then maybe you can remember the DMSB. Diamonds might shine brightly. Okay, and before we do that, let's review how to divide with no remainder. Okay, so I'm going to create a couple of problems here. The first one is 5 into 90. Or you could say 90 divided by 5. Now let's review the steps. We're going to divide first. How many times will 5 go into 9? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. That's too big, so go back to 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. You write the 1 on the top. 1 times 5 is 5. What did we just do? We multiplied right there. 1 times 5 is 5. Then we're going to subtract. So we say 9 minus 5 is 4. Then we bring down that 0. Why do we do that? Because 5 is bigger than 4. So 5 will not go into 4. So we have to bring down the 0. Okay, so how many times will 5 go into 40? Say your 5s. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. There it is. 5 times 8 is 40. So the 8 goes on the top. We just divided. Now we're going to multiply. 8 times 5 is 40. Okay? Then we're going to subtract. So 40 minus 40 is 0. When you get to 0, that's the end of the problem, okay? Then we have to check. We check using the 18 and the 5, okay? 18 times 5. We check to see if we're right. 18 times 5, okay? So 5 times 8 is 40. Remember to write the 0, carry the 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 4 more makes 9. So we got the same answer here and here, then you know you're right. Okay, let's do one more like that has no remainder, a remainder of 0, okay? So we're going to do the problem 4 into 76, and that is the same as saying 76 divided by 4. Okay, we're going to use this process, diamonds might shine brightly, or divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Okay, say to yourself, how many times will 4 go into 7? Well, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Oh, that's too big, so go back to 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4, so write the 1 on the top. Then multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. It's going to go right under that 7. Then subtract. 7 minus 4 gives us 3. Okay, then bring down the 6. So do you see? Now we have 36. We're going to divide again and start all over. Okay, what number multiplied times 4 gives you 36? Say your 4s. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. There it is. 4 times 9 is 36. And you might have just known that without saying it, but I'm showing you how you can do that, just saying your 4s so you can come up with that right answer. Now we're going to multiply because we just divided. 9 times 4 is 36. Then what do? We subtract, okay? So 36 minus 36 is 0. Now we have to check to see if we're right. There's nothing else to bring down, just in case you're wondering, so we're done. Once you get to 0, you're done. What do we multiply? We multiply the 19 times the 4 to see if we come back up with 76, okay? So 19 times 4, okay, you're going to say 4 times 9 is 36. Write your 6, carry your 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 more gives you 7. Do you see how that's the same? Okay, that means you got this right. Okay, that's your quotient, your answer. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our new lesson. Now, in these division problems, you're going to do it the same way, but you will have a remainder. You'll have something left over. Just picture, let's say you had 73 cookies and you were sharing the cookies with the class. Okay, everyone might not get the same amount. There might be some left over, okay? So that's what a remainder is. It's something left over. All right, so let's start off with the division problem, 2 into 35. And we're going to make this money too. We're going to make 2 into $35, okay? So it's like 2 people are sharing that $35. Let's see how much they'll each get. What's our process? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, okay? So how many times will 2 go into 3? Just 1 time. So we write that 1 on the top, then we multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. Then we subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay. Then we bring down. We bring down that 5. Okay. And how many times will 2 go into 15? Okay. Say your 2's. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. 16's higher, so go back to 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, so that's as close as we're going to get, so we're going to put a 7 right there. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, then we're going to subtract. 15 minus 14 is 1. Okay, well, 2 won't go into 1, and there's nothing else to bring down, so guess what? That's your remainder. That's what's left over, okay? There's $1 left over, okay? So we put up here, remainder 1. There's $1 left over, okay? So 2 people sharing $35 would each get $17, all right, with $1 left over, and that's what would happen, okay? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to check to make sure that we got that right. And here's how you do that. You're still going to multiply these two. Watch. 17 times 2. Okay, so 2 times 7 is 14. Write your 4, carry your 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more makes 3. And you say, oh, that's not the same. So guess what you have to do? You have to take this remainder and add it on. Okay, that $1 that was left over, you add that on. And then there's your 35. So now you have the same, okay? So this is just that leftover, that remainder that's left over. Let's try that again, okay, with a different problem. So let's put 3 into 98 like this, okay? And we're going to make that $98 too. So it's the same thing as 3 people sharing $98. Let's see what they each get. How many times will 3 go into 9? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So a 3 will go up here. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? Then we're going to subtract. 9 minus 9 gives us 0. So what do we have to do? Bring down. Bring down that 8. Okay? How many times will 3 go into 8? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. That's too big, so go back to 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I write the 2 up there. Then I multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? And when we subtract, just ignore that 0 because it's the same thing, 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Well, guess what? 3 people can't share $2, okay, without breaking it into change. So that's our remainder, okay? So they're each going to get $32 with $2 left over, so that's remainder 2. Now let's check to make sure we got that right. So what we're going to do is multiply 32 times 3. We write that as a multiplication problem. 32 times 3. Okay? 3 times 2 is 6. Write your 6. 3 times 3 is 9. You didn't get the same thing, did you? What do you have to do? You have to add on this remainder. You have to add on the 2 extra dollars that were left over. So we do this. Okay, add it on. 6 plus 2 is 8. 9 plus 0 is 9. And now we have the same thing, okay? We had to add on that remainder, okay? All right, we are going to do one more problem together. and hopefully you're getting the hang of it. If you're doing this on paper with me, or you stop the video and you could start over and do it with me, it will help you to actually write these down, okay? So this is our last one we're going to do together, and it's 5 into 67, okay? And we're going to make that dollars again, okay? We're going to say 5 people are sharing this $67. How much will they each get? All right, so how many times will 5 go into 6? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So 2 is too big. So we have to say 5 times 1 is 5. The 1 goes on the top. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay. All right, 5 won't go into 1, so we bring down that 7. Okay, now say your 5s again. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. That's too big. So 5 times 3 is 15. Watch this. 3 goes there. 3 times 5 is 15. 17 minus 15 gives you 2. There's nothing else to bring down, and that's too small, so this is left over, okay? They're each going to get $13, but there'll be $2 left over, okay? All right, so let's check. We need to multiply 13 times 5, okay? Here we go. 13 times 5, like that, okay? 5 times 3 is 15. You write your 5, carry your 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 more makes 6. Do you see how we did not get the same answer? So remember what to do? That's right, you add on these 2 extra dollars, okay? Like this. 5 plus 2 is 7, and 6 plus 0 is 6. Now we have the same answer. Okay, I'm going to give you one more to do on paper without me, okay? You just try this on paper. It'll be 4 into 97. Pretend like 4 people are sharing $97, and then I want you to divide, then multiply, then subtract, then bring down, okay? You let me know if you need any help with that, okay? And I hope that you've learned a lot today about dividing with a remainder.